My sister's best friend house sat while I was deployed. I came home early and found her notes. I had been away for almost 7 months when I decided to come home early. I didn't tell my sister. I didn't tell my friends. And I definitely didn't tell the woman who had been taking care of my house while I was deployed. Her name was Emily. She was my younger sister's best friend, and as far as I knew, she was simply helping me by checking on the house, collecting the mail, watering the plants, and making sure everything was okay while I was gone. At least, that's what I thought. My flight landed 2 days earlier than expected. I was exhausted, carrying one duffel bag and a head full of memories I didn't want to think about. All I wanted was a shower, my own bed, and silence. I drove home just before midnight. The neighborhood was completely quiet. When I pulled into my driveway, I noticed something strange. The porch light was on. I smiled. Emily must have left it on. I unlocked the front door and stepped inside. Everything looked exactly the way I had left it. The furniture was in place. The kitchen was clean. Even the small plant beside the window looked healthier than I remembered. Then I noticed something on the kitchen table. A notebook. My name was written across the front. I picked it up. The first page said, Day 12. He's probably never going to know I wrote these. I froze. I turned the page. Day 19. I miss him today. I don't even know why. Another page. Day 27. My best friend keeps asking why I look sad whenever his name comes up. My heart started beating faster. I kept reading. These weren't notes about the house. They were about me. Emily had been writing in that notebook almost every day. She wrote about little things I had completely forgotten. The way I used to leave coffee grounds beside the machine. The song I always played while cooking. The chair I always sat in. She wrote about how lonely the house felt without me. And then I found the first note that changed everything. Day 41. I think I'm falling for him. I put the notebook down. I stared at it for several seconds. Emily was my sister's best friend. I had known her for years. We had joked around. We had argued. We had shared meals during family gatherings. But I'd never imagined she felt that way about me. I turned another page. Day 43. This is stupid. He's away serving his country, and I'm here writing about him like some teenager. Then. Day 60. Today I almost told him. I sat down. I couldn't stop reading. The notes continued. She wrote about the first time she had come over to check the house. She wrote about finding my old jacket hanging behind the door and accidentally holding it because it still smelled like my cologne. She wrote about my sister warning her not to get too attached to me. That sentence made me stop. I turned the page. She knows. My stomach tightened. She knows how I feel. She told me to leave it alone because he needs to focus on coming home. Then there was another note. Maybe she's right. I closed the notebook. For a moment, I wondered if I had invaded something private. But curiosity won. I opened it again. Near the end, the handwriting became Messier. Day 174. I don't know when he's coming home. I just know I want to be here when he does. Then. Day 181. If he ever reads this, I'll probably die of embarrassment. I laughed quietly. Then I saw the final page. It was dated only 3 days earlier. I think I'm ready to tell him. Below that, she had written. But if he doesn't feel the same way, I'll leave quietly. I don't want to lose my best friend because of something I can't control. I stared at those words. Suddenly, I heard the front door open. I looked up. Emily walked into the hallway carrying a grocery bag. She stopped. Her eyes widened. For several seconds, neither of us spoke. Then she looked at the notebook in my hands. Oh no. I stood up. Emily. She covered her face. You weren't supposed to be home. I came back early. I can see that. She tried to laugh, but her voice shook. I didn't mean for you to read that. I know. She slowly put the grocery bag down. I was going to destroy it. Why? Because I knew it was embarrassing. I stepped closer. It wasn't embarrassing. She looked at me. You read everything? Almost. Her face turned red. I smiled. You really wrote that you missed me? She looked away. Unfortunately. And that you were falling for me? Please don't make me repeat it. I laughed. For the first time since coming home, the weight I'd carried for months seemed to disappear. But there was something I needed to say. Emily, I need to be honest with you. She nodded. I don't know what happens next. Her expression fell slightly. But. She looked back at me. I've thought about you too. She didn't speak. More than I realized. Her eyes became glassy. Then why didn't you ever say anything? Because I thought you were my sister's best friend. She smiled through the tears. And I thought you only saw me as your sister's annoying friend. You were definitely annoying. She laughed. I knew it. I picked up the notebook. Can I keep this? Her eyes widened. No. I laughed. Why not? Because those notes are private. Then I'll give them back. I held it toward her. She hesitated. Then she pushed my hand away. Keep it. Are you sure? She nodded. Maybe someday we'll read it together and laugh. I smiled. Someday? She looked at me. Don't get too confident. The next morning, my sister came over. She walked into the kitchen, looked at Emily, then looked at me. Her eyes narrowed. What happened? Emily and I looked at each other. I smiled. Nothing. My sister crossed her arms. That's the worst nothing I've ever seen. Emily started laughing. My sister looked at her. Then at me. Then she suddenly understood. Her mouth dropped open. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. I laughed. Emily covered her face. My sister pointed at both of us. I leave you two alone for 7 months. She shook her head. Unbelievable. But she was smiling. And somehow, everything that had seemed complicated suddenly felt simple. I had left home thinking I was returning to an empty house. Instead, I found a notebook filled with words someone had been too afraid to say. And sometimes, the most unexpected thing waiting for you when you come home isn't a place. It's a person. A person who has been quietly waiting for you to realize that maybe you've been waiting for them too.